companies for women in India. இந்தியா வந்து ஒரு வல்லரசு நாடாக மாறணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாக்க அதுக்கு வந்து 50% இருக்கக்கூடிய பெண்கள் அவங்க வந்து ஒரு பொருளாதார ரீதியாக ஈக்குவல் எக்ஸ்டென்ட்டுக்கு பங்கேற்றாங்கன்னா தான் இந்தியா அந்த ஒரு வல்லரசு நாடாக மாற முடியுங்கிறது எல்லா ஆய்வுகள்லையும் சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு உண்மை. அதுக்கு வந்து அந்த பெண் மட்டுமே அதுக்கு பொறுப்பாளியாக இருக்க முடியாது. For a woman to become career intentional and to participate in the workplace, it is not just sufficient that she has that ambition and aspiration. It has to be matched and supported by an entire ecosystem. And this includes companies which place her career growth front and center amongst all their priorities. So today here in Chennai, the Avatar Group, which is a 25-year-old organization, which has been awarding these companies for the past 10 years, has announced the list of top 10 best companies for women in India and a list of 125 companies which are the best organizations for women. So today that's what we are here for, and we have had some incredible organizations that have shown more than a 10 percentage point increase in women's representation in their workplaces.
Who was chief guest?
Dr. Tamazhachi Thangapandiyan, MP of South Chennai constituency, was the chief guest today, and she was able to provide a very wonderful view on what empowering of women actually means, especially women who are in the workplace. So how is empowering a woman in the workplace very different from generic empowerment, and why does the woman need such kind of empowerment was among the topics that Dr. Tamazhachi Thangapandiyan spoke as the chief guest today when she gave away the awards.
Madam, you are doing in-depth.
The best companies for women in India are selected after a very rigorous process. It's a completely free of cost exercise, so it is a impact exercise for a company like Avatar, where we guide organizations on following the best company's principles, and then they fill out a questionnaire, and in that questionnaire they provide us data on how many women they've hired, how many women have stayed on to become leaders, how many women have returned after maternity break, how many women are paid actually equally with that of men, and the kind of safety, security, protection, skilling, mentoring policies that the company does for the women. So with all of these details, the companies are selected on a purely analytics-based, evidence-based approach.
So you are doing in-depth research on this subject.
Yes.
Year on year, how many questions you are adding?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we had originally started off with about 250 questions in the questionnaire, but with every passing year, we have realized that there is need to collect more and more information. So today there are about 350 principles which we check whether the organization is actually following and providing data for, and that qualifies a company to be a best company for women in India.
Any particular question added during this year? Innovative question?
Yes. So if you look at what got added this year, which has evidence of last year, it was the extent to which global policies or global influences have impacted a company's pursuit of gender inclusion. And how has the company actually made sure that it has stayed on course with regard to having a unique India strategy as far as gender inclusion and women's workforce participation is concerned.
Which sector is best of the best for women?
Yes. So the technology sector and the professional services sector. These are two sectors where you have the maximum number of best companies, and these are two sectors where the percentage of women's representation is very, very high. So we are talking about something between the range of about 35 to 45% of women are present in these companies in sectors like technology and like professional services and in BFSI.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To companies. So if you take
any of the 125 best companies here, and if you have global operations, you can look at any of the countries you operate in, and if we do the data analysis in those countries, you can get a benchmark for that specific country, allowing you to know how do you measure up as compared to other companies that may have operations in Australia, that may have operations in Brazil, that may have operations in Mexico, or in the UK, or in France, etc.
Absolutely. Now, and that is, something that, would be of help to all of you here, decision makers who, have often told me the value of the benchmarking report. Many of you, I know, plan a lot of your annual strategies and your annual goals for the entire culture, the workplace culture, the talent engagement, practice that you have within your organizations. I know that the benchmarking report really is valuable to you. So now you know that it's not just within India, it's not just India and the US, but there are 26 countries for whom benchmarking data is available. And if you have operations in say 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 of those countries, please feel free to reach out and we will be able to give you that data. Yes.
So Soundarya, now it's 25 years of Avatar, 10 years in partnership with Saramount. What do you think the future holds?
Shubha, what a question that is. Well, you have put me on the spot, but I think, the plans are very clear. Avatar intends to expand into new cities. Avatar intends to create its footprint across thousands of organizations. Today, we are at 125 companies within the list, and we have also begun an industry-wise listing from last year onwards, as you know. So we have now best companies in manufacturing, best companies in GCC, best companies in retail, best companies in IT, best companies in consulting, best companies in professional services, and so on. The vision is to have these kinds of best companies present across the length and breadth of the country. And the reason why that is so important is because a best company being present physically, geographically in a particular location, Shubha, is like this ecosystem of change over there.
It's a beacon.
It's a beacon. It's like this virtual, virtuous cycle that they create. It's like they are present there, and they then begin employing a lot more of women. Those women grow up the ranks, and those women then want creches, daycare centers, they want a support system around them, and they want jobs which are in the best companies for women. So when you create a best company support system, which is actually the biggest support system that you can give to a woman, it is the greatest career enablement service.
You're so right about it. I was recalling our morning opening keynotes remarks, Subhadra's remarks, where she talked about being that lighthouse. So it's not just individuals being a lighthouse, but it's companies being a lighthouse.
Absolutely.
And within a state, if there are companies that are those lighthouses, they attract other companies to want to come there.
Exactly.
So that spreads.
Absolutely, you said it. So that one company then shows what it's like to be a best company, and those cluster of best companies then create a best state.
Yep.
Then you have best cities and best states and your best regions, and you can have this positive effect running through right across the length and breadth of the country. And what better activity can happen, in creating a developed India for all of us, Shubha.
True.
Yeah.
And when you look at the data, and it's almost in the US you call it like that hockey stick
Yes,
rise.
the hockey stick.
So that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So your ambition by 2030 of getting to 50-50, it's going to happen.
Thank you, Shubha. You know what, we'll continue talking and we can just do this. But we know that the 100 Best Companies Awards are waiting. So Sanu, let us know and we'll be ready for you. We are waiting here. Back to you, Sano. Ladies and
Headquartered companies stood up and said, count us in.
absolutely, that's India for you. And every Indian organization and multinational organizations that are based here in India, I think the opportunity to actually have India-led data, India-led benchmarks, I think that has really been the game changer for them.
Well, you know, there were organizations like Catalyst and others that were gathering that data, but you know, when they gave you a global number, it really did not drill down into specifically what was happening in India.
Yeah.
And like you, I believed that India deserved its own reality.
Yes.
And look at it now. As we share the numbers, India is leading the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely right, Shubha. Yeah. So, this conversation between Shubha and me, there are many questions that I wanted to ask her and she wanted to ask me, and we thought we will select about 3 or 4 of the most important ones and we will do this exchange right in front of all of you. Back to you, Shubha.
So, you know, when you started out with us at Seramount,
Yes.
you know, the one thing I knew was that we wanted a high integrity partner. That was the underlying. It didn't matter how long you had been around. It didn't matter what exactly you were doing. Integrity was, I wanted __ integrity.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to numbers, if you don't have integrity, then it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
So how has this partnership with Seramount, you know, it was called Working Mother, we rebranded as Seramount.
Yes.
How has that really enabled you to be able to achieve what you have in India?
So, Shubha, let me go back to the moment when I first met you. And that was when you were the chief guest at a conference like this in Hong Kong. And when I found that there was this thinking of being able to influence organizations, and you were doing that at that point of time as the head for DEI at Merrill Lynch.
Right.
Which, you know, that was not your day job. You were a business professional, you were a business leader, and here you were espousing the cause of having a very inclusive, diverse and equitable workplace. And then cut to 2015, and you're telling me, do you know of this organization called Working Mother? And I'm going to be joining them as the head of the organization. And it was like a dream come true for us at Avatar, because we knew that between Working Mother, which already had by then I think about 32 years of running benchmarks for organizations, being led by you, we knew that there was a fantastic model that we could bring to India and replicate. So these 10 years, Shubha, frankly for us, I think it's been all about inspiration. It's been about seeing the trend there and the mutual learning that we've had. And from an Avatar standpoint, you've always been available for us. I mean, this partnership in terms of, you know, the know-how getting exchanged, the best practices getting exchanged, organizations, you know, who are present here, who have their headquarters back in the US, you know, amidst all of this, the fact that we've had this amazing continuity of leadership, we've had this incredible opportunity to bring a lot of those best practices. And let me tell you, full disclosure to everybody here, each year, the questionnaire that we prepare for you is put together after a great deal of research. The teams at Avatar and at Seramount actually come together. We have multiple calls. We compare the practices that have actually uplifted organizations there in the US, and we compare them with organizations that have done tremendously well here in India. And that is why year on year, whenever you all come and attend the Best of the Best conference, and I know so many of you during the course of today came up to me and said, I mean, what's this magic? How does it get better every year? This is the magic. This is the reason why we are able to bring you those best practices and we are able to constantly challenge you. I think that was the value that Seramount really brought, Shubha. And now I'm going to ask you a question. It's my turn. You do this, the best companies survey and the best companies process, not just in India and the US. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are assuming that this is something that only happens in these two geographies, you're in for a surprise. Shubha, can you tell us all about the same global benchmarking process, the global collection of data that you do across so many countries? Could you give us a sense of the expanse of that?
So what's interesting about it is what started in the United States and then came to India 10 years ago in terms of gathering this data, we do this in 26 other countries. And the reality is, by gathering that data, it does two things for us. Firstly, it keeps us humble, because when you are from the US, so often you imagine that the best ideas, the most innovative things can only come from the US, especially if the company is headquartered in the United States. And yet, when you do global benchmarking, you're able to understand that such amazing new practices, best practices, innovation can come from all kinds of different countries, big and small, in different parts of the world. So our benchmarking data that is fueled by this data gathering from 26 countries not only allows
Shubha Baring ma'am, a simple conversation sparked a revolution. That's what happens when women leaders come together. Thank you for all that you do, Shubha ma'am. All those of us who are joining us, please let the entry be this way. And next up, our team Allstate India Private Limited, please be ready. And we also have Aspire System India Private Limited. This side, please. Aditya Birla.